Have you ever been to MOORE Expo? Hi everybody, I'm Rob and this is stormcrowoverland. We talk about going on adventures, road tripping, camping, just generally getting out and enjoying life. On this episode, we're going to talk about three different things. First, do a quick overview / review, whatever you want to call it, of the 2025 MOORE Expo. Spoiler alert, it was awesome. Second, we're going to talk about my experiences on Storyteller Row because I was on Storyteller Row at MOORE Expo this year. Pretty cool deal. And finally, at the end, we're going to talk a little bit about dealing with imposter syndrome while on Storyteller Row at MOORE Expo for the first time ever. So let's get started though. If you don't know what MOORE Expo is, it is the largest overland expo in the Midwest. Um, some people, it's not their favorite because it's almost more like a trade show, but it doesn't matter. You should go. If you've never been, you need to go at least once. It's in Springfield, Missouri. It's like the last weekend in April. Every year, it is hard to even put into words. Chris Holloway does an amazing job putting this event together. It's over 250 vendors, I want to say. It's pushing 300, and these are quality vendors. I mean, just about any big name overland company any company that makes overland gear you can think of, they're probably there. Gets a little awkward sometimes when you have and this is just an example, you'll have Devos there selling their Light Ranger. Light Ranger? Yeah. Devos there selling their lights. And then there will be several distributors there with booths also selling Devos Light Rangers. It's kind of weird. Same thing. I noticed it with, what's the Roller Cam. Roller Cam was there, and they had their own booth, and they were selling their stuff and demonstrating their stuff. Their stuff looks really cool. I need to get some of that. I should have bought some at the show. I just didn't. But there was also several other vendors there selling roller cams. So it's kind of weird. But it's fun to go around and see who's got the best deal, or see if see if you can get a special deal. With that, the other thing at MOORE Expo, like I said, like 250 something vendors. If you have any kind of overland purchase you're going to be making soon, and especially if it's a big purchase, if you're looking at buying a really nice fridge, if you're looking at buying especially trailers, there's a lot of overland trailers there, and guess what? They all have show specials, big show specials. If I was buying an overland trailer anytime soon, I would try to wait till MOORE Expo to get there to try to get one of the show specials. Um, Same thing, lots of companies running specials on rooftop tents where you either got a show discount or they would throw in, I think there was one company there, can't remember what they were called, but if you bought one of their tents at the show, they'd throw in either an upgraded mattress or diesel heater. They just all kinds of good deals like that. Um, so, so all these vendors, inside, outside, both. Also, there's camping there, and it sounds weird because you're camping at the Ozark Empire Fairgrounds, which is right off I-44. Doesn't sound like the ideal overland camping situation, but it ends up being really fun because in a lot of ways, and don't tell this to the vendors, it's almost more fun to go walk around the camping area than it is to walk through the vendor area. I mean, do both, obviously. Go see the vendors. That's why the show's there, and they have great stuff. Support them. But go walk around the camping area. Every kind of setup you can imagine, every rooftop tent you can imagine, ground tents, set deer, forerunners, Tacomas, Jeeps, old stuff, weird stuff. Everybody has everything out there. And you can see so many different setups and different ways to do things. My favorite thing to do is to walk around in the evening when everyone's cooking dinner. One, everyone's friendly, and you'd be surprised how many people will offer you some of their dinner. Yeah, I'll get to something else, the story that happened later. But people will offer you their dinner. But it's neat to see what are people cooking while they're camping. What are they cooking with? Are they using scottles or a stove or a Blackstone or all these different things that people are using. And like I said, and I like to get recipe ideas too. Oh, what are you cooking? That smells delicious. Oh, I never thought that's a neat way to do that at camp. That made that a lot easier prepping that part at home. Just weird stuff like that. Um, I saw there was one group there that had a tent I had never heard of that looked so cool. I don't remember what it was called. I've got it written down so I can go back and look at it. But such neat things to see, such neat people to see and talk to. Definitely visit the campground. Um, Final thing, if you are new to MOORE Expo and you're not sure what all's going on there, vendors, go to the camping area and take advantage of the classes. Aaron Paris from Switchback Outdoor Safety kind of organizes the whole training thing. But basically, what it is you have different subject matter experts in the overland sphere that volunteer to teach things. Aaron brings I4WDTA certified instructors, and they're teaching actual off-road stuff. On the outside part, I mean, they're teaching winch usage, high lift recovery classes, how to do recoveries on bigger vehicles like sprinter vans and stuff. Uh, Great stuff that they're doing outside, and those are certified professional instructors. Inside, classes almost all day. They have 4 different classrooms. Lots of times there's class going in every classroom every hour. Everything from, like, I was there teaching first aid. I teach first aid classes at a lot of these events. So taught first aid. Um, there was classes on how to start working in the overland industry. There was classes on how to tie knots, which is one of those weird skills that a lot of us probably should know and probably need a refresher on. Camp cooking classes. I'm pretty sure usually Matt from Ozark Overland Adventures, he teaches a Gaia class. Um, the women's Overland Roundtable thing. I'm not sure if I got the title just right, but all kinds of good stuff. Great classes, and the inside classes are all free. So you don't have to sign up. You just show up, and they've got course schedule posted ahead of time. Amazing classes. The outside classes with the Switchback guys, I think those are only for VIP people, but usually they have a setup where you can, like, donate $5, $10 to. I think usually it goes to NCMEC, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, which we'll talk about more in a little bit. So they have that set up where you can donate a couple bucks and go to one of the outdoor VIP only classes if you don't have a VIP pass. Overall, this was my second year going. Amazing time, amazing people. That's almost one of the best things for me. I am not a huge gear guy. I don't have a big decked out rig with all the cool stuff on it. I have a fairly basic 4Runner. I've got a fridge and a Gazelle, and I don't no rooftop tent, no crazy stuff, no truck with a canopy. I mean, I'm fairly low budget, fairly low on the gear scale. So I'm not super drawn to the fact that all the vendors are there. I walked around and I didn't see anything I had to have. Lots of cool stuff. There was several things that I almost spent money on. One of these days I'm gonna buy a Demo Slide Ranger. I don't know why I didn't just do it yet. And the other one, and I don't know if he's actually gonna see this, but it's a shout out. I swear one of these days I'm gonna break down and buy a knife from Michael Pruitt at Pruitt Knives of Valor. Makes the coolest freaking knives. He's a great guy. And usually at the shows with him is Wildman, and he does knife sharpening. And I've been doing a lot of sewing stuff, and I've got some old vintage sewing scissors I was going to get sharpened, and I forgot to bring them. I got to remember next time so I can try to get them sharpened. So that kind of wraps up the part on there's the review of MOORE. Like I said, great time. Go at least once. It's not everyone's idea of the perfect overland show. All the shows are kind of different, which is really nice. But great time, great people. Chris does a great job putting that show on. And one of the other things they do, and this is our awkward segue. They have what they call Storyteller Row. Usually they have a group of no one likes the term, but overland influencers kind of set up front, set up somewhere so that people can visit and meet these people. And the way they did it this year is it was basically a competition. Everyone that wanted to apply to be a storyteller, you applied, did a fundraiser to help raise money for the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, which is a fundraiser that MOORE Expo has been doing fundraisers for quite a while. It's an amazing organization. And the top 10 fundraisers got a spot in Storyteller Row. I was exceptionally lucky, thanks to some of y'all, to raise enough money to be selected as one of the storytellers. Ooh, that was cool. I mean, we're talking big name people, people you've probably seen, Live Today Overland, Black Truck Adventures, Arkansas Forerunner Mom, Feral Chick Outdoor, Jessie, she was there. Matt and Kara, Ozark Overland Adventures. There were more for sure. And I can't, Perfect Enough Garage, Cassidy Adventure. I can't remember his name right now off the top of my head. Lots of people. It was 10 total. And it was neat because they had us set up, like kind of lined up where people were coming in. So as people came into MOORE Expo, came in through the gate, they had to walk by all the influencers. I need to come up with a better word for this. Media people. Even that sounds pretentious. But so as everyone came in and they got to see, like, oh look, there's so and so and there's so and so, and people stopped to talk, and like I passed out some stickers to people. I got to talk to some people, see some old friends as they came in. Really neat deal, and it's neat because most of us had our camping set up there, right there with us too. Like I had my gazelle tent set up right there, and lots of people can walk up like, oh, I've been thinking about getting a gazelle. What do you think? And I can be like, oh, here, come look at it. You know, this is how tall. This is the luckily, the guy next to me from Perfect Enough Garage, I had the T3X, which is one of the smaller gazelles, and then he had the T4 or T5. I'm not sure. I don't remember the names of it. He had one of the bigger gazelles. So like there were several people that were interested in gazelle tents, and they got to sit there and go, oh, okay, this is how big this one is. This is how big that one is. Really neat deal. And this is where things got weird for me. And plus, I got to give a shout out to Arkansas Forerunner Mom and her husband. They kind of kept all the storytellers organized and got us all lined up in our right spots so Rhino didn't get onto us. So they were amazing. And like I mentioned with the campground, they were constantly trying to feed us. It was so funny. It was Friday night. Yeah, it was Friday night. Show was over. Everybody started leaving. And I made dinner. I made a big sandwich. I like sandwiches. I made a sandwich for dinner, ate my sandwich, had gone, I think, to the VIP show for a little bit. They do a VIP show and giveaways and things like that. I went to that, and then I really wanted a snack. And I had a Jiffy Pop. And so I went back to my rigs, turned stove on, was making Jiffy Pop, and her husband thought I was having Jiffy Pop for dinner, and he was offended and not going to let this happen. He was like offended at the universe, and he's like, no, go over to the trailer. There's a bag with steak in it. And I'm like, hey, I really appreciate it. I already ate. This is just a snack, but I really do appreciate it. So shout out to them for trying to take care of everybody. They were kind of like, I hope they don't mind me saying this, they were basically the storyteller mom and dad. It was great. And this is where things are going to transition to dealing with imposter syndrome. Ooh, it was weird. One, it's weird being on Storyteller Row. I am not a big, I don't consider myself an influencer at all. I've got less than 400 subscribers. I'm not a big deal. And then to be lined up with people like Jessie from Feral Chick Outdoors and Matt and Kara and Live Today Overland. I mean, it's weird when you're like, wait, these are the people I watch. These are the people I get inspired by. Why am I here? How did I get here? And I'm stuck between. I feel so bad. I can't remember their name right now. I should look it up. I'll tag them in the video in the group comments just to make sure. I am stuck between a completely amazingly decked out Ram Power Wagon on one side that was so cool, and then Perfect Enough Garage on the other side with an old Jeep Wagoneer that he has done so much cool stuff to. And then I look at all of Storyteller Row, and I'm like, whoo. And it's hard to admit. I'm like, I have the least interesting vehicle here. Almost everybody either had a rooftop tent or a trailer, their logo on their stuff or something really cool like the old Jeep or something. And I was like, this is weird. Like this is my daily driver that I've taken it lots of places and it's done lots of cool things, and I love it. I think it's a great vehicle. But it is a little boring compared to what everybody else had. And the first Thursday night when I rolled in and kind of got set up, I was a little intimidated almost. I was like, this is weird. Like I didn't feel like I deserved to be there. And I had to remind myself, and I had to like kind of talk myself through this and do some mental health things. It's like, no, this is me being here is good. One, it was a competition. It was a fundraiser, and I whether I felt like it was enough money or not, I raised enough money to be in the top 10 and become one of the storytellers. I wish it had been more money. I don't think they actually hit the goal they really were going for, which bothers me. I wish we had, but but I did. I made that effort, raised money to help kids. So that's amazing. So okay, I need to be there. And then same thing. It kind of hit me again Friday morning, right as the show was opening. Everybody was coming in. Right at first, I was like, I'm like, oh, none of these people know who I am. They don't. I'm not. They don't watch me on YouTube. They don't follow me on Instagram. They have no idea who this guy and just a random old Forerunner is. Not even old enough to be super interesting. It's not like a third gen or something. I'm in that weird. I'm at the bottom of the bell curve of being cool. It's stuff's really cool when it first comes out. Then it gets, and then eventually as it gets old enough, it starts getting cool again. I'm kind of at the bottom of that bell curve. But like I said, love my Forerunner. It's amazing. I'm gonna have it forever. I will ride the wave until it is cool again for how old it is. But eventually, then people did start coming up and talking to me, and they're like, "Oh, hey, I've got some stickers on there from doing Rimrocker Trail and going to Moab and stuff." And people came up and they're like, "Hey, did you took this to Moab?" I'm like, "Yeah, I took it to Moab before I put the bigger tires on it." And they're like, "Oh, you did the Rimrocker Trail? How was that?" And it, in a weird way, having the the least interesting vehicle, the least cool vehicle out there, in a weird way, kind of made me the most approachable to people who were new to this or weren't sure. Um, it's hard, and had to get my thoughts together there for a second. Sorry. It's hard to go up to Matt McKellen from Ozark Overland Adventures and be like, "Hey, how do I get started?" Or "Hey, should I do this?" You either feel weird about it, or there's too many people crowded around him, or it's hard to approach some of these people. Luckily, I didn't have a big crowd, so it was easy for people to walk up, especially new people that were like brand new. I was the one not busy, so they could walk up and, "Hey, how does this work?" Or, "Hey, how do I get into this? My friend told me about this show, and I don't even really know what overlanding is." And that got that question more times than I would have expected at an overlanding show. But and being able to reassure people like, "Hey, this is fun, and this is a good thing, and everybody here is great, and ask questions, and okay, if you want to get started, do this, or oh, you've got a two-wheel drive Ranger, or you've got a Subaru or something. Cool, you can overland in that. You don't have to have a Gladiator, you don't have to have a Forerunner or Tacoma. You don't even have to have four-wheel drive. Go out, camp, hit some trails. Know your limits, have a plan, that kind of fun stuff. I mean, there's lots of information on how to get started out there, but don't be intimidated. It was great to talk to some of these people, and it helped me helped reinforce for me that I did deserve to be there, and I should have been there, and I was there for a reason. So it was really good. Um, and finally, I can't get through this whole imposter syndrome thing without referencing a conversation I had with someone. There was a class taught. I mentioned it earlier about um, starting working in the overland industry. I'm not trying to get there anytime soon. I'm looking 10, 15 years down the road when I actually retire from my real day job, maybe trying to do something in the industry to have a little fun money and go to shows, stuff like that. So I was like, okay, I'll go to this class. And the woman who taught it, Katie Abraham, she currently works for Ironman 4x4, used to work for Dometic, used to do a bunch of cool stuff. She's part of Wild Mavens, doing the Rebel Rally. Amazing person, taught a great class. I had a crazy phone call, so I had to duck out at the very end. I felt bad. And afterwards, I found her because she was over with her vehicle promoting Wild Mavens for the Rebel Rally, trying to raise money to get to the next Rebel Rally. And I went up and I kind of apologized. I'm so sorry. I had a phone call I had to take, so I had to duck out. And she completely understood. But one of the things she touched on during her class about working in the overland industry was dealing with imposter syndrome. And I just was letting her know, I'm like, hey, this is really timely because that's where I'm at right now. So she was gracious enough to sit there and talk to me probably for at least a half an hour. Gave me great advice. Like I said, we talked about the imposter thing and talked about, remembering why you're there and focusing on how you got there. And great talk. So if you ever are if you're more next year, if Katie's teaching a class or something, check it out. Go check, definitely go check her class out. Got a lot from her class and from talking to her afterwards. Super friendly, super helpful. You can tell she genuinely just wants to help people. Um, I feel like I have rambled plenty, and this is probably a super boring video for y'all because there's no like different shots and anything. I may throw a couple pictures up here and there. Um, but just to reiterate, man, if you've never been, go to MOORE Expo at least once. Like I said, all the events are a little different, but this one's definitely it's very vendor heavy. But best training classes I've seen at any event, and the most training classes I've seen at any event. And like I said, the majority of the classes are free. If you get a VIP pass, they're all free. Uh, Take advantage of that. Do some of the training. Go to some of the training classes. Like I said, if you're planning on a big purchase like a rooftop tent, trailer, or something like that, if you can, try to go to a show like MOORE Expo. Get those show deals. Save yourself some money. Um, yeah, just being on Storyteller Row, that was a trip. I think I'm gonna try again next year. I don't know what Chris has in store for next year. He may have a whole different deal. I think last year it was just an application process. This year it was the competition, the fundraising competition. So Chris, whatever you got in store for next year, I'm gonna give it a shot one way or the other. Prove that I deserve to be there. And yeah, and finally, if you are ever dealing with imposter syndrome, remember you're there for a reason. And hopefully this isn't. Hopefully I can explain this right. Real imposters aren't worried about whether they're feeling like imposters. If you're worried about if you're having like imposter syndrome, that's just your head messing with you. That's how you know you deserve to be there, and that's why you're there. Whatever the situation is, whatever it is in life you find yourself in. So hopefully we didn't get a little too mental healthy there for you. Don't be surprised if there's more of that in the future. I'm really big on mental health. I've done a lot of work getting myself to this point. Even this YouTube channel's been kind of some of that. So yeah, that's my phone ringing. Deal with that real quick. Hang on, guys. Okay, so let me wrap this up. I appreciate y'all watching. I really do. Go to MOORE, check out the storytellers, take some classes. Don't deal with imposter syndrome. It's bullshit. It's just your head fucking with you. But yeah, thanks for watching. If you want to find me, you can reach me stormcrowoverland@gmail.com. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all the fun things. Stormcrowoverland, same on everything. Yeah, if you're looking for like some custom sewn bags, some storage solutions, check out stormcrowoverland.myshopify.com. There'll be links to all that in the bottom. You know how this works. You're not new to this. And just really, guys, hey, thanks for watching.